Hi everyone, it's Nathan from Geometry Gym here, and today I'm going to go through how you can utilize McNeil's latest Rhino.Inside technology, along with Geometry Gym's Revit plugin, to streamline interoperability between Rhino and Revit. Transferring between Rhino and Revit isn't a new topic. There are a number of ways in which people have been trying to bridge this gap for a while, with a varying degree of success. If this is a topic you're familiar with, you've probably used one of these plugins to help you in some way or another to get geometry and geometric information from Rhino to Revit. Geometry Dream has been bridging this gap through IFC. You would develop geometry within Rhino and Grasshopper and then use the bake component to bake to an IFC file, meaning you need to save a file to a location on your computer and then import that file into Revit. With the recent improvements, you can now trigger Rhino and Grasshopper as a Revit plugin. So now you can actually recognize or use the Revit API from directly within Grasshopper. This is a big benefit as we start to tap into Rhino's comprehensive geometry library for generating quick freeform shapes, something that isn't necessarily as easily completed in the case of Revit. The other benefit that this allows is the ability to reference and directly send geometry from Revit to Rhino and Grasshopper, and send and update geometry to Revit directly from Rhino and Grasshopper. In terms of Geometry Gym's offering around this technology, now instead of writing an IFC file and following an import process through Revit, we've enabled direct baking to Revit through Rhino.Inside. This allows you all the current benefits and advantages of the Geometry Gym tools without the need to bridge between the two programs. An added benefit to the Geometry Gym plugins is that you can also develop a script independent of Revit and then open that script within Revit when wanting to transfer. This means that all your current geometry scripts will already work with this process. In the next couple of videos, I'm going to go through how you can automatically generate a simple building using the Geometry and Revit plugins, including a curtain wall facade, some structural framing, and floor slabs. The complexity of this course will be beginner to intermediate. I won't go through all the scripts in great detail, but they'll be available for you to download if you just follow the link below this video. Okay, to get started, you can go to the McNeil Rhino.Inside repository on GitHub. Here you'll find some instructions and some Rhino-specific tutorials on how to get started with Rhino.Inside Revit. I'll just go to the Revit page of this repository. Currently, to get Rhino.Inside to work in Revit, you'll need to have Rhino WIP installed. This will hopefully be embedded in the next version of Rhino, Rhino 7, but for now, all Rhino 6 users which sign up to Serengeti, Rhino's development forum, can download Rhino WIP without any issues. Once you have downloaded Rhino WIP, you'll need to install the Rhino.Inside development. You can either clone the Rhino.Inside repository to your hard drive and build it using an IDE such as Visual Studio, or you can download and install it from this page. This might be the easiest option if you do not have experience with using Git and Visual Studio. To enable Geometry Gym to be used with this, all you need to do is have the latest version of the Revit IFC installer downloaded and installed. You can download this from the Geometry Gym downloads page on our website. Once you have these three items installed on your computer, you can open Revit. I'm using Revit 2020 for this demonstration, but it should work for versions 2017 to 2020. If you look in the Add-ins tab, there should now be a Rhinoceros item. Clicking this will open Rhino and Grasshopper within the Revit environment. By clicking on Grasshopper, it will then open the standard Grasshopper window. You'll notice that there is now a tab in Grasshopper called Revit. This is a set of components that McNeil is developing to interact natively with Revit. There are some tutorials and information available on these components on the Inside GitHub site, so I would recommend checking this out. They are still in development, so will likely continue to be improved as this tool develops further. The Geometry Gym tab is the same as if you're using our standard Grasshopper Revit plugin. However, now you'll notice that included with the standard bake component, there is now a bake to Revit component. This Bake to Revit component allows you to periodically bake geometry from Grasshopper straight to Revit, rather than having to save and import. Of course, you can always still use the standard bake component if you need to, capture a model in a state of time, for instance. In the next video, I'll show you how this works in practice.